Hi there. You probably come to this video because you're interested in getting some information about home quarantine in Malaysia for international students. So I just thought about coming up in this video in order to share with you some of the experience in this area that's sometimes confusing and to answer some frequently asked questions about it. But first of all, let me just say it from the very beginning. I'm not affiliated with any organization. I'm just an individual student. And I'm presenting this information on the assumption that you will take it as something that can enlighten you towards the next steps. But please, all the time, double check with the Ministry of Health, which is the sole exclusive authority that can tell you correct and updated answers to your questions. I put in the description the contact details of the Ministry of Health. You can reach them through phone or through WhatsApp or email or whatsoever. So, home quarantine in Malaysia for international students. What do you need to know? Now, home quarantine is something that some students prefer because it's cheaper and because it's more convenient. At the end of the day, you just want to go to your home if you have a home there in Malaysia, and it gives you much more freedom inside your house instead of going to the usual route, which is to get a hotel in the booking in Kuala Lumpur. So you go to your state or your city where you want to study. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I got the hotel quarantine, but since I received some questions about the home quarantine in Malaysia, I just thought that I could share with you the experience of my colleagues. At the same time, I made some questions with the people here and got some answers that can be interesting to you. So, where to start with the home quarantine application? According to my colleagues that I used to interact with, I understood that first of all, you have to get some document proving that you have residence. And this is one of the conditions stated already in the web pages of the official quarantine websites. So you have to get some document that you are indeed having a home in Malaysia. It could be a lease agreement. This is what the colleagues said. So they said it's a lease agreement stating that you have a home inside Malaysia, or else otherwise, if you are living with your family or with your friends or whatsoever. I'm not sure in fact about the document that you have to present, but presumably it has to be just a document showing that you are going to be there. So it would be probably a very good idea for the people who are going to host you just to contact the Ministry of Health and to see what kind of document that they want to produce if you are going to live with a family rather than with your own home. Anyway, the information, I cannot give you this information at the moment about what documents that you need to do, because things evolve very fast and maybe information can be updated from time to time. So there is not a fixed formula that you can follow. But anyway, if you have a rent agreement, I think this is going to be a very good thing. So you apply for the Ministry of Health, you go to hso.moh.gov, in other words, gov.my, hso.moh, Ministry of Health, .gov.my, and you apply for the home quarantine. What are the documents? As I said, it's this agreement, first of all, but also you have to provide more details about the following. You have to tell them how many vaccines have you taken. For people who have vaccination 1 dose, they have to apply for quarantine after the passage of the period of time, which is 28 days. So before 28 days after the first dose, you cannot apply for home quarantine. This is explicitly stated at the website of the Ministry of Health. If you have the second dose, then the period is 14 days. So after 14 days of the second dose or 28 days after the first dose, you can apply for home quarantine. The other information that you have, of course, to upload the vaccination certificate in English. If it's not in English, it has to be translated either into English or into Malay. Now, The requirements are as follows. The home that you are going to must be suitable. And the suitability here as a definition is based on risk assessment. The risk assessment is as follows. How many people are living inside this house? This is one. How many rooms and bedrooms are there inside this house? How many bathrooms are in this house? In this house, sorry. And how many bathrooms are there? Bathrooms inside the room or not? And there is also about people. How many people are living there? How many elderly people are living there? 60 of years of age and above. And or this is, I think it's 60. It should be 60. I read it somewhere. It's 60, but please just double check. I'm not going to give you any misinformation. So number of children, and the number of children is 12 or below. So the elderly, 60 and above, you must mention how many of them. The children, 12 years and below. And the number of people who have chronic diseases, the number of pregnant women, you have to also mention that. And how many rooms are there inside, as I said, in the house, how many bathrooms, and whether the room that you are staying in has a bathroom or not. So these are the requirements. You apply that. The second frequently asked question is, when do I apply for quarantine? The quarantine should be applied for the home quarantine, should be applied at least 10 days before the travel date. 10 days at least. From the interaction with other colleagues, it seems to be that the answer to your home quarantine takes between 3 days. This is the minimum that I saw from colleagues' input, and up to 7 or even sometimes 10 days. So it is going to be good for you just to be on the safe side, to give yourself more period of time before you fly. Mind you, maybe this is at the discretion of the Ministry of Health. So if your home quarantine is rejected for any reason, you are not getting in trouble because of the ticket and you have to reschedule the ticket, etc. So for that reason, just when you book the flight, you try to give yourself ample time before the flight so that you can apply for the home quarantine and get some answers from the Ministry of Health. Again, now you can ask for all other information from the Ministry of Health directly through their details that I have included in the description of this video. And once again, I just to repeat, I am not representing anybody. I'm just talking as a student, and the information that I have today could be different from the information that you can have tomorrow, because things are evolving very fast and we don't know about the updated information. So this is just as a beginning for you, just to know at least by today that these are the regulations. So this is as far as home quarantine is concerned and the requirements. What happens when you come to the airport? First of all, the airport that you can come in is Kuala Lumpur Airport. When you go to Kuala Lumpur Airport, you will have to run the PCR test, and you have to go through some kind of formalities. It is to pay for the PCR if you haven't paid it before you travel, and to scan QRC in order to fill some kind of application, to have your PCR done, and then to do to get the bracelet on your wrist. There's a bracelet, plastic one, and then you have your passport stamped, and then you are escorted to the airport where somebody is going to be waiting for you because you are home quarantine. So I asked also about the way of transportation from the Kuala Lumpur airport to your own state. The answer was that you have to get your own transportation arranged by yourself. And I understood that it could be a friend's car, it could be a taxi. Some of our colleagues asked their own universities, and the university said two things. First of all, you have to tell the university, because you are on home quarantine, you have to tell the international division of your university that I'm going to be on home quarantine, and this is my address, and this is my phone number, etc. This is one. And the second thing that the university told them, yes, you can take the bus or any kind of other transportation means in order to reach the home quarantine. So it's very important as well to inform your university, the international division, that I am coming on this specific date to Malaysia, and I'm going to be there on this specific date, and this is my address for the home quarantine. So this is the information that I have got so far. There are other details that I I could not find, simply because there are specific cases. For example, somebody would say, I'm going to be I'm going to prefer home quarantine in my friend's house, not in my house. What should I do? Obviously, the lease agreement is in the name of the friend, not in your name. For all of these questions that you have, I strongly recommend that you reach out directly to the Ministry of Health, because these are specific cases, not general cases. The general case is that you have residence, you have home, you have a lease agreement, you can do that. But these are very specific cases that you have to get specific answers to what you have. And double check, please, with everything that you would like to be ascertained of. Now, finally, I would like just to repeat something. It's very important that you do not always rely on emails, because emails just take time. It's a good idea to always call them by phone. When you call people by phone, the response is immediate. It comes just in seconds. Instead of staying for one day, for example, you send it after the working hours, and it takes maybe 1 day or 2 days until somebody responds, because of the load that they have, and which we understand and appreciate. But if you just give them a call in the working hours, somebody immediately answers your call, and you can talk to them, and you can receive exact information relevant to your case, relevant to your specific case. So I hope this video is going to be useful for you. Please, if you have any question about studying in Malaysia or the quarantine and other issues, I'm going to give you all the support that I know, and I promise that what I tell you is up to the updates of my experience. If there is any kind of doubt, I would simply say to you that there are some doubts that you have to consult other people with. So, and this video is not a promotion for anything. I'm not going to give any service whatsoever for dealing with international students. It's just something voluntarily that I do, and I thought that it could be useful if I do it in a video on YouTube. Please feel free to talk to me anytime through the comments here, and reach out to me. Also, I will put my my WhatsApp number in case you want to ask me for anything that I could answer. And once again, I promise, if something is not clear to me, I'm not going to improvise until you do this or do that. I'm just going to say to you simply, I don't know. But I will give you the best of my experience. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the other platforms like the EMGS, where students meet and exchange their experience. Of course, this is a very good idea for you to have a safe and good journey to Malaysia. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for watching this video, and have a safe journey to Malaysia. Bye-bye.